Vinny Tortorich here. Hey man, if you're a fan of Izzy, you might be a fan of me too. I'm the guy that gets people to lose a lot of weight. I have something free for you guys. This is no clickbait. Just go to VinnyTortorich.com and there's a big banner. It's a free PDF, how to lose weight. It's an intro guide to NSNG at VinnyTortorich.com. Go check it out exclusively for anyone who listens to Izzy Presley. Thank you.
Rockwood Saloon Authentic Apparel takes rock and roll fashion to a new level with their tees and tanks for men and women. They also make custom shirts, jackets, vests, pants, hoodies, beanies, and more. The Rockwood Graphics Department can design anything from your logo, t-shirt design, promo posters, band swag, and printed at great prices. From tour shirts and custom stage gear to killer threads for the street to the stage, Rockwood Saloon has it all. Rockwood Saloon, authentic rock and roll apparel for stage and street. World tour tested for quality, comfort, style, and durability. Check them out at www.rockwoodsaloon.com. That's rockwoodsaloon.com. Replay Guitar Exchange is your premier independent guitar store. Being independent is good. With all of the major brands, including new, vintage, and pre-owned, you can find the guitar, bass, amp, or accessory you are dreaming of. From vintage to the newest models, Replay Guitar Exchange can help you find that perfect piece. They have industry veteran expert staff, all players like you down to the owner. You aren't just getting a great guitar, you're getting the Replay difference. Find them online at replayguitar.com and find your dream guitar today.
Hi, this is Bobby Brown, and welcome to another fucking podcast.
You kids with your loud music and your Dan Fogelberg, your Zima, hula hoops, and Pac-Man video games, don't you see? People today have attention spans that can only be measured in nanoseconds.
See, son, old legends never die. They just lose weight.
Like a legend and an out-of-work bum with a lot of life.
Yes, it is party time. Hello, Hollywood. Hello, world. Hello, my loyal minions. It is good to see you. And as always, good to be seen. My name is Izzy Presley, and welcome to a special Thursday afternoon edition of another fucking podcast. Oh my God, so much to talk about today. I got my good friend Mark Parrish on the line. We're going to bring him in just a little bit. Make sure you do hit up all of the social media. Facebook is facebook.com/another effing podcast. Twitter is very, very easy, at Real Izzy Presley. Same on Instagram. You can see what I'm eating and how much Astroglide I'm going through, all that kind of good stuff. And my entertainment page is at Real Izzy Presley as well on Facebook. Find out everything I'm doing entertainment-wise. Like last night, for instance, we had Soundcheck Live at Lucky Strike in Hollywood. And oh my God, what a night. So you got to bear with me. I'm a little bit hungover. But, you know, that's how it fucking rolls. Make sure you go to those pages, click that shop button, buy t-shirts. I got t-shirts. I got that hashtag Megahose t-shirts. I've got the podcast t-shirts, ACK, a tribute to Ace Frehley t-shirts, all of that good stuff. And if you want to donate to the show, I don't get those fucking big fat podcast one checks. I don't get the big fat, Westwood one checks. So I rely on you guys by sharing and spreading the word and you guys donating when you can. It's really easy. Izzy Presley at yahoo.com is a PayPal, so send me as much money as you want. And anybody that buys anything or sends money, I will send you guys my Waze voice. So I will be directing you on Waze. It's awesome. It's hilarious. Yeah, Mark, how the fuck are you doing? Former NHLer, he played. Is it easier to list the teams you didn't play for?
Way easier. Way easier. Because I can't really remember all of the ones I did play for.
Well, I mean, that's probably because of that one hit that you took when you don't remember hitting the boards.
Yeah, that was one of them. 6 other ones that I don't really remember too that added to it. But yeah, it was a long, fun career. And to be honest with you, it was funny after I retired. My wife missed me getting traded. She loved getting to live in new parts of the country, new parts of North America for a year, knowing we weren't necessarily going to settle there. But hey,
right.
It was a fun experience for her and the kids. So that was one of the things I did not expect when I told her I was going to retire. I didn't expect that disappointment. I mean, I was exhausted from it. She loved it.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite city you played in?
It's hard. I was really lucky. I got to play in a lot of really spectacular cities, from Miami, where I started, and even though Long Island isn't New York City, it was only 15 miles into Manhattan, and then L.A. for a cup of coffee. I mean, what can't you say about L.A.? And then Dallas, of course. So I mean, they all kind of struck a chord with me for different reasons. I miss obviously the Florida sunshine and the laid back and the anonymity of playing in Florida.
Yep.
New York, I completely miss the restaurants, the food, just, oh my God. And that also carries over to LA, the food in LA. And then of course the music scene in LA is second to none.
Yeah.
And then Dallas is kind of like Minnesota, but it's a lot warmer and just everybody's just nice. Just really nice.
But you got to wear the Stars sweater.
That, you know what, honestly, I'm not joking. That was cooler for me to pull on. I know it wasn't the same one, but the first jersey I pulled on said Stars on it. I got the chills more with that one than I did pulling on the Wild jersey playing here in Minnesota, because that was my team.
Yeah.
That was my organization I grew up with, man. They stole our cup. They moved in 3 years later. That was our cup.
I know.
Dang it.
I was going to ask you about this because obviously with Vinnie Paul dying, there's the famous story about the cup getting dented at his party. Did you hear stories from Madonna or any of those guys about that? That night?
Those guys are big fans. They got to become more or less I don't know what the heck Mo called them, like alternate teammates or pseudo teammates. He had a term for them, but the Cowboys from hell, man. Yeah, when I saw that happen, I can just only imagine what he and Dimebag, they're tearing it up right now, up in heaven right now. That's for damn sure.
Did you get to hang with them at all when you were in Dallas?
I did. I actually got to. Oddly enough, one of your favorite bands, Nickelback, happened to be playing in Dallas.
Of course.
So, and of course, long story short, and I'm not afraid of it. Yes, I'm a huge Nickelback fan. I'm good friends with them also, which helps, but I am a huge fan of theirs. I just hate how much stuff that they take. Whatever, nonetheless. Anyway, they came down. They were playing in Dallas the night after our season ended. And so I got the whole team. We all went, and sure enough, who's hanging out backstage with Nickelback the whole time? Cowboys from Hell.
Yep.
Man, I didn't even watch the show. I was just bombshelling those guys with questions.
Oh, I bet, man.
Just incredible. I mean, it's so cool. You know, there's certain kind. I guess there's certain kind of guys. I guess those are kind of one of those bands you just never expect to see. They're not necessarily mainstream. I mean, they're rock and roll, but they're not really mainstream. They just kind of do their thing. They show up for their show and then they vanish into an oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
And to actually see them watching another rock show was just it was kind of beyond me. It was unfortunate. I didn't have a camera phone at that point, for God's sakes.
Right.
I still had an old flip phone.
Well, you probably wouldn't have been known how to work that camera phone at the time.
Amen.
The thing that I loved about Vinny, I met Vinny once in Vegas, and Vinny and Dime, they were such music fans. You know, it didn't matter. It's like when I met Vinny, it was at Bobby Blotzer's Rat, The Babies, Firehouse, and Eric Martin from Mr. Big. And I'm like, Vinnie Paul's here? What the fuck? And he's like, hey, man, how you doing? And, I got my picture with him, and that was it. But he was so cool. He was so nice, man. It's cool that you got to experience that.
He was. It's exactly how he was. He was very nice, very cordial, sat right there, talked, listened, somehow sat there and listened to me bombing questions at him left and right, and just smiled and enjoyed it. And of course, then hearing the stories of Dimebag, obviously, is almost the exact same way. It was just a special man, and those are the ones that are hard for, especially the rock family, to lose guys like that. You want to lose the assholes.
I know, but it's
why
never
don't more
them.
assholes die?
It's never them. It's always the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, you grew up a North Stars fan, and I'm assuming die hard, as well did I. Which is, you saw the sequin sweater that I now own.
Oh yes, absolutely. That's gorgeous.
I wear it as a tip of the hat
to
the most hated player in Minnesota sports history. Okay,
you got to give credit where credit's due.
Right, exactly. And I'm assuming you grew up a Gophers fan.
Actually, I didn't. I grew up in Bloomington, so I was the Met Center was 10 minutes from my house. college hockey wasn't even on my radar until I got to high school. I never watched college hockey. It wasn't, so I did neither of my parents went to the University of Minnesota, excuse me. They both went to Augsburg. So it was all North Stars. So it was kind of funny when I did get recruited to colleges. Everybody's like, "Oh, you're just going to be a gopher." And I was like, "I don't know. I don't have really anything drawing me there." Mm-hmm. Plus, they had a lot of good players in front of me, and I would have had to fight for a spot.
Right. So how did you end up at St. Cloud State? I think we've had this conversation before, but I'm a drinker and I forget shit.
Amen. That's why we get along so well, buddy. See if I can remember it now. You know what? It just fit for me. I went to North Dakota on a visit. I went to Minnesota on an unofficial visit, and I was either going to be North Dakota or St. Cloud. Those were my top two. I just like the smaller feel of this, the low key small town feel. I didn't like, being a suburbanite down in Bloomington. I wasn't really big on the city and University of Minnesota or Wisconsin. I didn't even really go to any of those big time schools, to be honest with you. I went to the smaller schools, not big time hockey playing schools, but just population wise. And I remember going on our visit, and it was myself, Matt Cullen, and a guy named Ryan Frisch from Moorhead, who was Cully's line mate and teammate. And I just remember walking into the rink, and it just felt like home. And Cully and I we went to lunch and sat there, and we were talking about it. And they were graduating 11 seniors. They had to play us. They didn't have anybody else. It was kind of one of those, hey, we both had that. We didn't talk about it much at that time, but we both had a dream that was a stepping stone. We wanted to play in the NHL, and college to us was a stepping stone. Not to downplay it, not to whatever, but we wanted where's best to keep us moving for our development. And that was Craig Dahl was a coach, and I fell in love with Tom Saratori, who's now the head coach at Bemidji. He was the forwards coach. He was power play, so I dealt with him more than I did CD. He recruited me more, and I just fell in love with the guy. And it was just kind of an easy decision. It just matched. I remember walking into the rink, and I'm not just technologically stupid, but I'm also directionally idiotic. So they told me where to come in and this and that. So they have this whole presentation thing for Cully and I and Frishy. So we're supposed to walk in this door. Mm-hmm. So we see this thing they have set up. Well, this jackass, of course, just walks right in the Zamboni door because I can't find it. I don't remember what door it was or whatever. So I walk in the exact opposite end I'm supposed to, and I just walk in, and there's just this spotlight right down at St. Cloud, right down at the emblem, the CST on center ice. And I just kind of remember taking a couple steps onto the ice, and there was nobody else. It was just me, and just kind of looking around, and it felt right. It just felt like home. I just knew right then and there that's where I wanted to play.
And that was, of course, in the heyday of the WCHA, and which is now gone, which sucks. I mean, how do you feel about that? I mean, obviously you're long gone from college, but I mean, what's the feeling like up there? With that whole thing.
Luckily enough, I've been doing the color commentary for St. Cloud for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So getting to see that transition, St. Cloud and North Dakota, all these schools were very fortunate because there was 6 months, maybe more, that once the Big Ten got announced, everybody's hair was on fire. What's going to happen? Where's everybody going to land? Okay, the WCHA, originally the WCHA was just going to be gone, which I wish they would have. Because I hate that the new WCHA is there. It's not the WCHA.
Right.
It went from the best college conference, arguably, I guess. And we're not talking about those East Coasters. Screw that.
Yeah, they don't.
And no, not at all. They're mean anyway. And I'm kidding. Actually, I love all my Boston boys to death. But that's okay.
Of course.
So that was the thing. Is everybody was just, especially the foreign players, they just took the best college conference and blew it up. What the heck's going to happen? Where's St. Cloud going to land? Where's Mankato going to land? All this and that. Now, granted, now all of a sudden this brand new NCHC thing opens up, and it's the best conference in college hockey. Talk about stepping in shit and coming out like roses.
Right.
They threw the NCHC together out of pure necessity. They were good Division I teams that needed a league.
Right.
That was
it.
They made the NCHC. and now it's the most dominant league in college hockey. So we laugh about that all the time. How, backtrack 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when that got announced, and it was just, oh my god, what's everybody gonna do? So now it's like, yeah, screw you guys, we're on top of this mountain.
Yeah.
It's funny.
What's the attendance like now? Is it still popping like it used to be? Is it down a little bit?
That's the problem. It's taken away some of the rivalries. Especially the one, and I hate saying this, of course, being a Husky, but the one that really hurts me the most, because it's just this storied history between it. The Gophers and North Dakota need to play every single year.
Absolutely.
They have to play. Yeah. It's good for the game. It's good for college hockey. And now that doesn't happen. And that's disappointing. And not to mention, when it doesn't mean anything.
It's not the same.
They're not fighting for, that was my last year in the WCHA with Cully. We were tied for, well, actually we were third, but Minnesota and North Dakota tied for first for the WCHA lead. It was, so every game between the three of us, not only were they big rivalry games, they meant something. So now, even when the Gophers do come to town, it doesn't really mean anything. Yeah. So I'm disappointed and that's kind of what I'm hearing a lot from a lot of those teams. Is that it's just, it's still a rivalry, but now it's kind of bragging rights just over a weekend instead of we beat you to win the cup or we beat you to win the championship. So it has taken away from that, I hope. And it should. Naturally, that's the thing. Excuse me, pardon me. Swallowed a bug.
Yummy.
That's the rivalries. It just takes time. Eventually now. I mean, it's a new leagues, new Big Ten. I mean, Big Ten still adding teams. Who knows where they're going to finally finish? If they're going to go the football route and get to a Big 12 or 14 or who knows. So over time, those rivalries will build back up. When you're taking away rivalries like Minnesota and North Dakota of over 100 years of playing against each other, that's just sad. That just hurts my hockey heart, and I don't have any draw to either one of those teams. It's just not good for the game, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree. I know St. Cloud isn't really a party school anymore.
Yeah, no, not at all. Once the Parrish boys left, it just tamed right down.
Yeah, trust me, I know. But I mean, the way that, we can get into what the fucking city has done and what the college has done, yada, yada, yada. But not being a big party school, has that affected the student draw?
Right around that same time, when the league split, the St. Cloud lost. I don't know the numbers exactly, but it was something close to like almost half of their students just vanished.
Yeah.
No, over summer, nowhere. No. Now, how did that have something to do with it? Maybe for some, but otherwise, it's hard to say. And I don't know. I can't speak for any of the other schools.
Right.
But I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, because like every time I go back, like back in our day, we could go downtown on a fucking Tuesday night, and it was elbows to assholes in every bar.
Yep.
And now it's like you go down there on
not that I was there on a Tuesday night, but I was told.
Never. No, it was always the ultimate after midnight on a Sunday. But
Perkins.
Oh yeah, Perkins. Oh, that's one thing I miss is Perkins. Every time I go back, I have to go get the fucking the pancakes with the twin berry.
Oh, see, I'm eggs Benedict, extra hollandaise, steak knife, large chocolate milk.
Oh yeah,
every time.
But yeah, it's like you go downtown on a Tuesday. It's like a fucking ghost town now. I mean, DB's just closed. It's like everything's closing. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not St. Cloud anymore.
Yeah, there's not besides the carpet, the dugout. There's and even I think Rudy's is still there, but it's I think it's on its third different owner or something now, so it's completely changed and everything. Yeah, it's we all kind of feel the same way when we go back for the alumni event. We know better than to just leave the carpet. We just stay at the carpet because it just gets depressing if we walk around.
Right. I think that was the last time I saw you in the flesh was at the carpet.
Yes.
And Gino was there, and we just got fucking hammered.
That was at our alumni event. We were surrounded by old Husky hockey players. I remember that upstairs at the carpet.
Yeah, well, I thought that was God, I could have swore that was after a Huskies hockey game that you were calling.
Your memory's better than mine.
Yeah. But
Probably
I just
was.
remember you
Well,
saw
who
me
knows?
and you're like, I know him.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, get over
hell
here. Hug me.
What can I say? I like hugs.
I like hugs too. It's a ginger
I like
thing.
hugs.
I don't know.
Amen. I don't like to admit it, but I got a little ginger in there.
Oh God, I'm fucking pure ginger now that all the gray's gone. All the black's gone. Last time I tried to dye my hair, I went to the hospital. Fucking, my face blew up, my neck blew up. I looked like fucking Rocky after Apollo got done with him. It was horrible.
You got that sensitive skin, buddy.
I know.
You gotta be careful.
I know, man. I know. But so no, you went back to school. Are you still?
I did.
Did you graduate yet?
I haven't. I'm still very slowly working towards it. I'm still taking kind of one class at a time, just with the not so much with St. Cloud with the color. It was coaching high school was just much more of. It was just there was much more time involved than I was expecting.
Yeah.
So I really had to take a step back on how many classes I was taking. So I just kind of take one class at a time now. It's a semester and keep it rolling. And when you leave after 2 years, that means it's going to take a long time to make up
right?
The rest of the years, because I know I wasn't on pace to graduate in 4 years. But yeah,
Right.
I'm still working on that, and yeah, I enjoy it. It's funny, and now I'm glad I can kind of get it all done online now. Man,
Yeah.
the first couple times I got to class, I was that guy that I remember looking at like, what's this old guy doing in here? That's me now, walking in with all these kids that more or less could be my kids' age.
Right. Did anybody know who you were?
A couple, but it was always like you're like my dad's favorite player. I appreciate that. That makes me feel somewhat good, but it's such a backhanded compliment.
I know. I've had Jeff LeBar from Cinderella on a couple times, and he went back to culinary school. And
Get out! That's awesome.
Oh yeah, he's a chef down in Nashville now, and
That's awesome.
he was. I asked him the same thing. He's like, it's funny every once in a while because I was the old guy. I mean, because he's like what 10 years old, 5 years older than us. So he's like plus 50, And every once in a while, he would have one of those kids to come up with the picture that their mom gave him, from the 80s with the bouffant hair and all that shit.
Right. I'd rather, at least it's the mom. I'd rather the mom come up and ask for my mom's best friend instead of the dad.
Oh, I know. Oh, my God.
Subtle difference, but.
Oh, Mark says, hello from Chicago. This is Mark, who I know from the Monsters of Rock Cruise, who's the one who gave me the Al Secord sweater.
Nice.
And he made a comment earlier about he remembers when you put in 4 against the Blackhawks.
Oh, my God. I thought the game was going to be easy. That was like my sixth or I scored 2 goals my first game, and that was like my 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there. And then I scored 4 goals. I'm like, this NHL thing's easy. Good Lord, anybody can score goals here. Wow, really
I remember
wrong. That was way off.
When you went to Dallas, I picked you up on my fantasy team, and your first game, you put a Hattie in, and then you didn't do shit after that.
Not a damn thing. I had about 10 games after that. I scored another goal a couple games later, and then it was my 10th game there, and Lettinen went down for the year. Morrow went down I was there because Lettinen went down for the year. And then within 4 or 5 games, Morrow was done for the year. Zubov was done for the year. And literally just Tippett, Les Jackson, Hully, they brought me in. They're like, hey, man, you kind of you know what you're here for. And
Yep.
Ownership just told us to fuck it, go young. And I went, oh, no. I know what that means.
Yep.
I am officially the 13th forward, and only if a skilled guy goes down that they need to play. So yeah, it was unfortunate, but it was that was my saving grace. When I really respect and appreciate the way those guys treated me through it. I mean, I get the game. I understand what it was about. I knew it wasn't necessarily a long-term thing. And once, I get what an organization has to do, and they were upfront, honest with me, and I just did my best to be professional and help them with the young kids best I could. 'Cause that's all I could do. I mean, literally, they right away, hey, we can't ask you. You came in, you started scoring for us, and it was a 4 or 5 game slow patch is all I had hit. So it wasn't, and they didn't have any problem with how I was playing. Like, look, you're doing the right thing. Ownership is throwing down the gauntlet. Like, sorry, it's not our, so you can't fault them for that. They're doing their job that the bosses asked them. So yeah, there was zero ill will for any of them. And I respect and I appreciated the way they let me finish out that year too. They obviously didn't just treat me like any young schmuck. If I needed a day off, I could get a day off because I was a little older and I kind of, at least in their eyes, earned it. So no, as much as it definitely hurt my career. It didn't hurt me personally. I respect and understand completely why it happened. As much as you don't want to, it's just the way it is. And you could write a book on players that have gone through that situation. That could have played, that could have helped the team, could have been better. No, they've been better than those young guys. Too bad.
Exactly.
Wants to see the young guys.
I know. Well, I remember when you got bought out from the Wild, it was it was like the weekend of your golf tournament, your charity thing. And you were just like, what the fuck? It was just bam. And then all of a sudden, you're in Dallas, but then you're down in the minors and you're doing all this shit. How was it hard? Was it hard for you to adjust? I mean, being a little long in the tooth in the league and getting all that, having all that experience, and all of a sudden, boom, having to get on that bus again and do the minor league thing.
It was a lot easier to swallow my pride than I expected. It really was. Just knowing how my career played out the way, and the Wild did, man. Riseborough kind of, he put me in a rock and a hard place. And the way it turned out, I get how the world sees that without being involved in everything. I didn't want to go to Europe. I told my wife, and I completely lied to my wife, I guess, for the majority of my career, because I always said, let's go to Europe for a year or two and finish out there and let the kids experience Europe. And then when it finally came to that point, I didn't want to go anywhere near Europe. I just, there's a lot of great stories and guys loving it over there, but there were so many nightmare stories coming back from that full year lockout of people that I was I was on edge. No thanks, let's stay here. So I just kind of took and I had a perfect kind of lesson in being the older guy by being that 13th forward. Dave Tippett was unbelievable. The whole coaching staff was incredible. Let me be involved in, and I think they might have saw that I would have gonna get into coaching. They let me be involved in all the power play meetings, the PK meetings, all the special teams, all this and that, so I would kind of help the young guys. I was the buffer for them and the coach. So if they had questions, I'd tell them to come talk to me. And if I couldn't answer it, then I'd kind of tell the coaches. So I was a pseudo player coach. I was a cheap Reg Dunlop, more or less, is what I was. Right. And I enjoyed it. I actually really enjoyed that role. So that's that summer, talking to my agent and talking to people. I'm like, you know what? I want to keep playing. I don't think maybe I can't play in the NHL, fine. But, I want to play in the American League. I want to play, and I want to keep doing this. So we kind of found a couple spots. Went to Norfolk, and then I actually snuck some more games up with Tampa that following year. That surprised the living hell out of me. But no,
see,
I really
I forgot that you played with Tampa.
Oh,
I remember Buffalo, but I forgot about Tampa.
How do you remember Buffalo and not Tampa? I don't know. Buffalo was a weekend, and Tampa was. I think I might have got 10.
Yeah,
12, maybe. I don't know. Somewhere in there. I got to spend more than a weekend in there, though. Hell, I forgot Buffalo. We had there's this little initials game we play on the radio out here, and the initials were BS. And, of course, the answer was Buffalo Sabers. I never came up with it. I played for the damn team.
Of course not.
I played for the team, and they didn't even realize it at the time. They once I actually told them, like, no, I actually played for that team. They couldn't believe it. Like, hey, it was a weekend. I remember being in Portland. I don't remember being in Buffalo.
Look, unless it's basketball or football, Sludgy has no idea, and meat sauce is meat sauce. So
nope,
I mean,
not a clue.
Meat sauce is just like, I'm just gonna smoke weed and listen to Dave Matthews.
Oh, you know him well.
Yeah, absolutely. Any guy that says on the radio that Van Halen's the most overrated band of all time.
What?
Yeah, I literally
he's
heard him
lucky
say
he
that.
didn't say that in front of me.
Oh my God!
He's lucky.
I think he was on with PA when he said that, because I'm sure Hockey would have had something to say about that too.
Oh yeah, that he knows better than to say that in front of Hockey. Yeah, especially now, because he knows Hockey's got a right-hand man now when it comes to the Rock.
That's right. I tried to get on when I was in town, and Hockey's like, man, we can't bring you on to promote your show. I'm like, well, just get me into bullshit and mention that I'm playing this weekend. Whatever. Fuck. All right, here's the deal. We're gonna take a short little break. We'll be right back with Mark Parrish. But before we go to break, I do want to tell you guys about beater amplification. Mark, you need one of these. Balls out, fucking rock and roll tone, 100 watts, hand wired, made in Mankato, and you pull 2 tubes and you got a 50. The most versatile amps I have ever played, and everybody that comes into studio, like Joel Hoekstra from Whitesnake, everybody that comes in studio plugs into that thing is just like, dude, this thing is fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. So, Mark, you got to get one of these. BeaterAmplification.com. It's 2 E's. They are currently building my signature model. You could buy one of my signature models, the TCB1. Taking care of business, baby.
I love it.
So, yeah, check out BeaterAmplification.com. Check out their Facebook. Go give them likes and check that shit out. There will be a promotional video I'm doing very soon. Now that I got that Kotzen Telecaster, I can get a couple different tones and show you guys all the good stuff. So keep your eyes out for that. So we'll be right back. We got a couple, we got one listener question, and we're going to come back and do that in 1 second. It is another fucking podcast. RockstarLeatherworks.com is your home for badass rock and roll gear. Featuring 100% handmade leather bands, watches, cuffs, bracelets, and more, Rockstar Leatherworks has something for everybody. Whether you are going to the show or you are in it, you can find something to fit your needs. Choose from a variety of designs or create your own masterpiece. Their bands and watches are second to none. They also ship internationally. Who needs a stage to be a rock star? Check out RockstarLeatherworks.com.
If you need to promote your band or business, or just want to stylize, personalize, or customize your ride, check out vid-decals.com. Want to create and customize your own stickers representing your band, or make your own bumper sticker? Vid Decals can do it. All stickers are printed on quality vinyl and can be placed on any flat surface. Stickers are an affordable way to promote your band or business. Go to vid-decals.com to get started. That's vid-decals.com. vid-decals.com.
Retro Arcade brings Minnesota and surrounding areas arcade games from the days gone by. All of those great games from pizza joints and arcades are available in cocktail units and custom machines. Dozens of favorites from your youth in one machine to complete your game room or man cave. Retro Arcade also sells and services your favorite pinball machines. Find them at facebook.com/80arcade. That's facebook.com/80arcade. Retro Arcade. Your youth is just one click away.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tom Arnold. I like fat women and cocaine. And you're listening to Izzy Presley here on another fucking podcast. And I know Izzy from Cocaine Anonymous meetings. I've actually seen him at the meetings with Ace Von Johnson from, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but Ace has got a bad coke problem. And his sponsor is Josh Todd from, and again, I shouldn't say this out loud, but Josh is his sponsor for Buck Cherry. He's addicted to upskirt porn. And they're both being sponsored by the Eagles. The whole band, the Eagles. Anyways, another fucking podcast right here with Izzy Presley, and call your sponsor. Fucking A.
Oh, God, I love Craig Gass. That shit is hilarious. Yes, that is Craig Gass. That is not actually Tom Arnold. All right. Make sure you do check out A&P Laser, aplasers.com, laser engraving. Flasks, your sidearm, whatever you need done, just go to aplasers.com. They got a June special going on, but not exactly sure what that June special is, but I know there is a June special, so that is pretty cool. And also, check out John Palumbo Design. You need a logo, you need a website, you need any of that shit, hit up John Palumbo Design, and John will get you taken care of. And Mark is handling some business right now. I believe he's talking to the cable guy, but he'll be back in a second. And Bruce, we're going to get to your question in a second here. Anybody that listened last week to the drunken summit that I had with Ashley from Black Veil Brides, and also Jeff George, not the football player, the musician. Wondering where the show is? Well, what happened is, I'm sure you all saw the blabbermouth and the fucking everything. Just that show blew up because Ashley was saying something and it didn't really come out right. He made it sound like the band was breaking up, and they're not. And I was asked to take it down. So I had to take it down, which sucks because I got about 2,000 listens in about 5 hours since the news broke. And then all of a sudden they're like, no, Bruce, I didn't really get any fallout. I got some people emailing me about, coming on the show. So we'll see what happens there. But Jacobus, how you doing? Yo. Oh yeah. So everything sounded good out there. You guys enjoying this? I love talking hockey. I think I hear him. There he is.
Hi.
And
sorry.
guess what? I fixed it. I can hear you through the headphones now.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, it was just I had the output was on a different thing, and now I got it. So you're coming through my cans. You're coming through the. It wasn't you for once. Mark Parrish is back. Bruce wants to know how do you feel about having no NHLers in the Winter Olympics?
I'm torn. I really am. When the 98. When the NHL first took over for the amateur sports, that I was pissed. That was my year. Granted, that was my rookie year. The next year, following year was my rookie year. But that was our year. So there's a bunch of us Minnesota boys, like myself, Rasmussen, even Matty Cullen, guys like that just kids. That was our year. You look forward to that. You're traveling with the national team, that whole thing. We were really looking forward to. We grew up being select 15, 16, World Juniors together. So we kind of knew. You kind of had a good idea on who the majority of the team was going to be. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden they kind of took it right out from under us. Luckily enough, then I got a chance then in the NHL to play in 06. So I got to experience it that way. I guess if they're going to do it this way, if this is their decision, then I wish they would have just kept it amateur the whole time.
Yeah.
Just because we got spoiled then, because now it's not the best players in the world. Then it was just, hey, it's the best amateurs, and now they're trying to build that back up. But once you get the best of the best, and then you drop back down,
yeah,
it's just, it's just not the game. It's not the same game. The skill level, the talent. I mean, obviously the Olympic athletes from Russia or something like that. I mean, of course, they were loaded with Russians,
of course,
NHL talent.
Yeah.
There were some other teams that had pretty good talent, but yeah, like you're looking at the U.S. and Canada teams kind of going, well, good luck, youngsters.
Right.
It's just, they're not ready for it. They're not prepared for it. It's just, it kind of turned into it. It changed the amateur side for me, which I don't know. Cause now it's professionals. It's not amateurs, or there are some amateurs, but for the most part, it's still professionals in the American League. So it just doesn't, I don't know. I'm literally split. I like it, but I wish it was the amateur. It's just not the best hockey in the world, though. I mean, the best players in the world aren't playing it. That's just bottom line to me.
Right. Now that's what the Canada Cup is for.
Yeah, for sure. Well, luckily enough, especially the U.S., the women's hockey. Luckily, the women's hockey stole the show of the tournament. That U.S. Canada game, that was the best. That was one of the best hockey games I saw all last year. Period. NHL. Otherwise, that was just an amazing hockey game. And that's the passion you want to see, especially North American. I want to see U.S. and Canada in the gold every single time.
Well, of course.
We weren't anywhere near it.
Of course. How do you think the game has grown, especially, I mean, since you've been gone? Because there's a lot of things about the game that I don't like now. I hate the shields. I hate that they regulate them to wear the shields. I think you got guys they're looser with their sticks. You know, they can hide behind that thing and yada, yada, yada. And I hate that there's that red line was taken out. I hate that 2-line passes because it's just the game is so fast now. You know, the concussions are up. And it was never because of fighting, but now it's just boom. Everybody's moving so fast. They're getting hit so hard. And what do you feel about that?
You got a lot of. You know how opinionated I am.
I know.
Brought up a lot of different things I could go real deep into.
I know. I know.
So let's start with the masks, the shields. I'm kind of okay with that. Whatever you're comfortable with. I don't know. I'm not so sure that much is giving these antagonists, the little annoying rats, the guys like stick guys and get away with cheap shots. I think that's the instigator rule. That's
okay.
So that's when they put the instigator rule in. That's when that started happening. That the shields don't really necessarily have much to do with that. That's just they've just done their best to grandfather those shields in through international hockey. Everybody at a certain age and everyone in the American League. So that was their way of just grandfathering it in now. And this is kind of what we expected. We talked about this 10 years ago or more than that in the 04 lockout when we talked about it.
Yeah.
That eventually it's going to be a moot point because everybody's just going to be wearing them. So like that's literally where us players and the owners kind of, when the owners and everybody like, whatever, we don't have to vote on this anymore.
Right.
More or less 10 years from now, everybody's going to be wearing a visor, which is pretty much true. Mm-hmm. But the big thing for me is that the instigator, the players can't police themselves anymore.
Right.
So the NHL and the refs turn around, and it's not necessarily the refs' fault. They're the ones that are just calling the rules that the Board of Governors and the NHL put into place.
Yeah.
Well, start protecting the players. How many concussions did Wayne Gretzky, did Mario Lemieux, did those guys have?
Mm-hmm.
How many has Sidney Crosby had?
Right. Well, Sidney Crosby doesn't
protect
have Marty
your players.
Exactly. He doesn't have Marty McSorley.
Exactly. And there's something to that. People don't quite get it. They don't understand how much that kept everyone honest. Oh, you're going to give me a 2-minute penalty? Oh, shoot, I'm going to get a suspension, but the best player in the game is out for the rest of the series. Oh, well. Now, you got, like you said, you got McSorley. You got Tony Twist. You got whoever sitting on that bench. Yeah. Proby. You got those guys staring at you. You touch that guy, I'm going to kill you. If you don't fight me, I'm going to kill your best player. That's a hindrance. That's going to slow you down.
Yep. Absolutely.
That it sounds barbaric, but obviously the NHL has not done a good enough job protecting their skill, protecting their talent. They, in my opinion, and now that would be a step back in everyone's world, get rid of the instigator rule. You can't go challenge a guy because as soon as they know it, all the little rats know it. So you can come over and grab him and challenge him to a fight, but what the hell? Challenge him all you want. All he's going to do, he's a rat. He's going to skate away from you for crying out loud and then go try and hurt one of your best players again. It's I can understand the pressure from the public, from fans, from whoever, where take the fighting out of the game, take the violence out of the game. The people that say that don't understand the violence that those heavyweights brought in kept the violence that we're seeing now out of the game.
Yep.
What's more violent? Somebody catching. So okay, Sidney Crosby gets blindsided with a hit from the shoulder, and oh geez, he should have had his head up. That's no big deal. But when two guys just square off and drop the gloves, that's too violent.
Right.
I don't understand that. They're both just as detrimental to the human body. But at least the two guys dropping gloves, they're making a decision. They know that one punch could send them into la la land. No pun intended.
What you did there.
Now, Crosby, he didn't want to get run over blindsided, a completely illegal hit. Okay, great. You get 2 and a 10 in suspension.
Yeah.
get fined and you're a hero in your hometown.
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember.
I don't like it. I don't like anything about it.
I saw McSorley, an interview with McSorley, and he was talking about this one time. I can't remember who they were playing, but this is when he was with the Oilers. And somebody took a liberty with Gretzky. And it wasn't a bad liberty, but they took a liberty with him. And I remember he said, he's like, I know I'm going to get 5 games for this, but that's my guy. He went, the dude was skating towards his bench. McSorley caught him and threw him into their bench. And he knew he was getting 5 games for it, but that guy didn't fucking look at Gretzky after that. Nobody did.
Not only that, everybody that sees that highlight.
Right.
Oh shit! I don't want to. I don't want. Right. I don't want to get played like that. Well, and this to me, I guess it all kind of comes down to a player respect, which it's just not there, and that's how I think it should be instilled. I remember vividly, my rookie year, we were playing Dallas in Florida. We were on the power play, and I was done. We had way over a minute in the offensive zone, and I was just gassed. I was trying to change. Guy Carbonneau and Mike Keane were the 2 forwards PKing, and Guy Carbonneau was skating down the wall with the puck, and our D-man's just backing up. You see it all the time in the game. The guy forward would just button hook and try and delay. He clearly had no idea I was 5 feet behind him. He button hooks, and I'm dead. I literally, out of self-defense, I just lowered my shoulder. His stick goes flying. His helmet goes off, and I'm just, God damn it. I just ran over the captain of the goddamn team. Like, I barely got my hands on the bench that we were right in front of in Florida. And all I could hear is everybody on the bench, heads up, and exhausted. I'm completely exhausted. And I know who's coming for me. Yep. I didn't know Keener was a lefty, but I knew he could fight. I wish I would have known that. If I'd have known he was a lefty, I'd have dove headfirst into my bench. Right. I knew he could fight, but literally out of respect. Like I understood, I'd seen guys, go after Mellenby, and you gotta, hey man, there's certain guys you gotta answer the bell. Keenan taps me on the shoulder. I drop my gloves, and sure enough, when he winds up as a lefty, and I just remember thinking, oh shit, oh shit. I mean, I was tired and everything, and thank God he got me a couple of times just in the helmet, and finally he went to switch, and he got his jersey got stuck in his right arm, and I'm like, well, here's my chance. Granted, I've thrown about 3 left-handed punches in my life up until this point, and I go for this big old haymaker lefty, and I swing, and I go over his head by like 1.5 feet. I mean, I don't even come close. It's not even close to hitting him. Throws us both off balance. He falls on top of me, and he has got the biggest shit grin on his face. It just taps me on the chest like, that's for Carbo, and I just kind of nodded, and we went to the box, and this was one of the many things that I learned in the NHL that I absolutely love this game, and I love the people that are involved in it. Next face off, I go out in the offensive zone. Who am I lined up against? Fuck me, it's Mike Keane. And I'm not even going to make eye contact with him. I'm trying to get there as slow as I can and hopefully time it just right for when the puck drops so he doesn't even know I'm there. Everything. We get there, and of course there's some delay. Somebody jumps, and this was before they would kick guys out, so they'd sit there and settle it between the centers, and all of a sudden I hear, hey kid, and I'm just, fuck. Look over at him just kind of from the corner of my eye. Hey, that's a nice curve. You got any more of those I can grab after the game? What world am I in? You just tried to kill me.
Oh my God. And did you guys have beers afterwards?
Yeah. So that was the thing. So I was like, yeah, actually I just got a bunch. And he's like, all right, sweet. Kirky Muller, because they won a cup together in Montreal.
Yeah.
The Canadian. So he's like, all right, cool. Kirky going out there. Come on, we'll go have a couple drinks. Sure enough, we ended up drinking all night together. Never came up. fight, nothing, not a word of it ever. I ran into Mike, and not that, I mean, it wasn't like a memorable fight for him anyway, by any means.
Right.
Well, actually, it might have been, because I don't know if there's anybody that's missed him that bad before. I mean, it was hysterical. I got so much. I just remember when I went back to the bench to the guys, especially Paul Laws and Peter Royal, the heavyweights, they're just like, yeah, we're gonna work on that this summer. It's like, we all thought you had him. Like, everyone was like, oh my God, he's got him, and then whoops.
Was that your only scrap?
I've actually got a much more embarrassing scrap than that. I was fighting. Actually, I turned around and was playing. We were playing Chicago. San Jose. Suter. I didn't realize he was the one that was on me. I can't remember the defenseman now. There was a defenseman. This is late 90s. This guy was working me over in front of the net the whole time. And that was one of the older guys, Mellenby especially, was just like, hey, literally the saying was, take it now, take it your whole career.
Yep.
So I was just finally late in the second period, I got in the front of the net, and I'm just thinking, Jesus Christ, here this guy again. So I don't even look and see who's behind me. I just assume, I wish I could remember which defenseman was. And I just dropped the gloves and turned around and grabbed, and it was Suter. He just came back from a torn biceps.
Oh, no.
First game back from a torn bicep tendon. Like, American kid, American hero, American kid. So, like, we totally squared off, and I just kind of looked at him, and I kind of just shrugged, and he nodded, and we just I just let him go. Out of respect, again, I'm just like, fuck, he just came back. I'm not going to do this to the guy, just out of respect. So we're going to the box, and the funny part was Mark Fawcett. I will never forget, it was Fawcett. He comes in, he's like, all right, as he gets ahead of us, he gets to the penalty box. He's like, all right, double minors, and we both start giving to him. Double minors, you can't do that to us. Come on, we dropped the gloves. Give us 5. That's bullshit. And I remember talking to Mark a couple of years later. He's like, that was one of the. He's like, I've never had 2 different guys actually arguing to give him more. Like, screw, you can't do the double minor. Give us 5. Come on, we need to fight on our freaking. Oh, yeah. I had a couple more, but those were by far the 2 most memorable. That's for sure.
Bruce wants to know if you have any stories from back in the day involving the Oilers, because he's from Edmonton.
Ooh, great ice. Nothing too. I mean, being an Edmonton guy, I suppose the first time playing Gretzky, that was he obviously wasn't. He was a Ranger at the time, or as an old Islander likes to call the Strangers.
Yep.
And I remember going off, and I'm honestly enough, now that I think about it, it was the exact same face-off zone as Mike Keane. The whole situation happened, and I went out there. It was early in the first. I went up, got on the hash mark, and I just remember staring at him, going, I can't believe I am on the same ice as Wayne fucking Gretzky, for God's sakes.
Right.
And I just staring at him, and I stared at him. I remember him looking over my direction at one point. I'm sure he was probably giving his winger some kind of indication or whatever. He just kind of looked over, and I just kept watching, and the puck dropped. Everybody else moved. I just kept watching Wayne. You can literally watch. If you see the video, you'll see, like, the puck drops, and there's a couple seconds everybody else is moving, and I'm just still staring at Wayne Gretzky. I couldn't believe I was on the same ice as him.
Dude,
that was crazy.
I had the same as as a wannabe Mike Russo. I had the same thing. It was like the first time I was like in his presence. Mm-hmm. I couldn't talk. And everybody's doing the post-game thing, and all of a sudden he starts walking away, and I'm like, Mr. Gretzky! And I sound like the kid on The Simpsons, I'm like, what did it feel like the first time you raised the cup? And he just turned around and goes, how heavy it was. Hey, you asked. Like, okay. Mm-hmm. But then, like, a year later, I got a one-on-one with him for like 5 minutes, and I was like, this is Wayne fucking Gretzky. This is insane.
Yep. There's certain guys that just, they transcend the game.
Yeah.
Like when Mario came back, it was kind of the same thing. And there's so many guys that have like those similar stories, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I remember Chris McAlpine played a long time for defenseman, St. Louis, bounced around. I might have spent some time in LA, now that I think about it. But I'm probably wrong because my memory sucks. Either way, his favorite story is, so it's one of his first couple games in the NHL, and it was Mario. You're calling your guy in the defensive zone. You're like, I got that guy. I got that guy. I got that guy. You just point like, I got this guy, or I got 18 or whatever. And of course he looks, and right away he is so excited. He's just like, I got Mario. I got Mario. I got Mario. Like, he's literally like screaming on the ice. Like, he was so excited as a defenseman. And he's like, of course he scored on me. But like,
of course.
But he's like, and it wasn't like I had this guy's mine, or just pointing at him. Like, no, I got Mario. Like, he's I can't imagine what those guys might like. How often does this happen to them, or do they even chuckle when it happens? Yeah,
they have
crazy.
to. They have to have a sense of humor about it. At least you weren't excited about Mario coming back in '91.
Oh, good Lord,
that still hurts. But
we had the first two.
I know. I was going to ask you about this. How did you feel about the success that Vegas had this year? Because at first I'm like, dude, this is kind of cool. Then at the second I'm like, wait a minute. They haven't had their heart ripped out of their ass.
See, at first I kind of was annoyed by it. To be honest with you, I was kind of the other way. I took along me, not annoyed. Annoyed is strong. I wasn't annoyed. I was just kind of waiting for it to end. It's like, all right, when's Cinderella? When's midnight? When's the clock striking? Like, eventually this is going to end. And wow, I don't know if it's tragic. Hell, it was a great run for them. They got to the finals. Yeah. I never got past the first round, so fuck them. I hope they had fun. I'd love to just get to do what they did, for crying out loud.
Right.
I would have loved to have taken second one year, and but after a while, you kind of look at it. What an amazing year for the game. The way to growth the game. They were stealing fans. There were fans that we were getting calls, or there are people that are coming in and calling they're lifelong Toronto fans, Boston fans, Ranger fans, Detroit fans that have jumped ship and become Vegas fans. Those are original six. It's one thing if there's like a move in from Minnesota and the North Stars, or St. Louis, or wherever, even LA for that matter. If like, okay, fine, but nobody draws fans away from the original six.
Right.
When that realization hit me, I'm like, this is awesome for the game. Like, this, what else can you do? I mean, this to help grow the game in your first year. The worst, I do feel bad for them. I mean, what are the chances they're going to be able to repeat that magic?
No, impossible. Impossible.
Every other fan base next year is going to be so happy to watch them just fight with everybody else, going like, see how fucking hard it is? It's not that easy, you god damn it. You guys had it easy, you spoiled pricks.
Well, plus, I just wanted fucking Ovi to get his cup. You know?
Well, I'm fine with, not that I don't dislike Ovi, but I like TJ Oshie, Niskanen, a youngster, Shane Gersich, Minnesota boys. I'm happy for those guys. I felt, like Nate Schmidt, another Minnesota boy that went to Vegas from Washington.
Oof. Yeah. Ouch.
It's a long summer for him, and he's a great kid. I'll see him here at the Beauty League, or Dove Beauty League, in a couple weeks and give him a big hug, because, man, how does it not sting?
What? How do you explain the hate for Crosby? Is it because he's won so much?
He's the best player in the world. He's the best player in the world. He plays. He's both ends. And this is, in my opinion, any NHLer, this is the best compliment you can give. We all think we know the game the best, and we're going to teach our kid, and don't tell my kid how to play hockey. I'll do that. You just go fuck yourself, type of thing. He's the one that you go, buddy, Turner, you want to learn how to play the game? Watch that, man. In my opinion, it's absolutely nothing but jealousy. I don't understand. He's awesome. He's a great guy. I've gotten to know him pretty well. He's as nice as it can be. He's humble. He takes time for absolutely everyone. He gets picked on more than any superstar ever has. Go back to concussions, and not just that, but the chippy stuff.
Yeah.
People say he whined. You know what? People say Mario and Wayne whined. Like, people say that. that's what happens because those guys people don't understand how much chippiness that you don't see on camera.
Yeah.
Most of the time, what they're talking to the refs about, what they're upset about, nobody saw. And it was probably pretty brutal. I'm sure he's going to have an ice bag somewhere from it. And it probably had nothing to do. So they assume it was like, oh, he's complained about that face-off. I had nothing to do with that stupid face-off. He's complaining about somebody behind the scenes probably giving him a whack right on the ankle or slashing him in the forearm. Because let me tell you, those NHLers, especially the defensemen, are pretty damn good at getting their sticks where the padding isn't. And that's what it is. He deals with more little shit than any other superstar ever has had to, ever. So, I think it's just a bad rap. Well, I don't understand it at all.
Well, let me ask you this then. If that instigator rule wasn't there and they still had that tough guy presence in the league, would he be putting up Gretzky type numbers?
That's hard to say. I can't see why not. I really can't. He's so far ahead of everyone else. The speed he plays, how much he sees, his anticipation, his vision. Look at they give a young guy with him and put any young kid next to him, and next thing you know, the young kid's a 30-goal scorer. Mm-hmm. I mean, it doesn't matter. He's like Tom Brady of the NHL. It doesn't matter who's around him. He makes everyone around him better. What's the definition of a superstar?
There you go.
And he plays both ends. You don't see, obviously Ovechkin's got his cuff now, but how many times do you see it? You would watch him. I did a game out in Long Island, and I made note of it during the game because one was the Islanders that were well out of the playoffs, and it was Pittsburgh, obviously gearing up, and there was a race for the puck near the blue line. It was in Pittsburgh's end. D-man's coming at it, and Sidney thinks he's not going to get to it. He dives head first to get it out of his end. What superstar does that?
Right. Yeah. I can't argue with that.
You ever seen Ovechkin do that? You ever seen Wayne do that? Mario do that? You know what I mean? Like, who does that? That's it. I mean, he's just the best. He's the best hockey player on the planet.
Scotty checking in from Canada saying if Crosby had Semenko type looking out for him, he'd be on par as Gretzky. So there you go.
And I can't argue it. I can't. I mean, it's hard to say because there's Wayne is the great one, is the best of all time. But at the same time, Crosby's nasty. He's the best player in the world.
How did it go for you out in Long Island doing the color stuff?
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, not just being part of the Islanders again, but it's fun, kind of, especially doing between the benches. I enjoy it. It reminds me of how fast everyone and big everyone is.
Right.
But no, it's a lot of fun just to be part of the game and get back there and watch, especially with the Minnesota connection with the Islanders, all the Minnesota boys with Anders, and Brock, Letty, all those guys, and then my connection with the Islanders. Yeah, it's a good time. I really enjoy being part of it again.
Are you gonna be back next year?
I hope so. We're gonna be. I got a phone call with them here in a couple of weeks.
Oh,
Obviously, they've kind of got some bigger issues going on right now.
Right.
Paying attention. There's this number 91 that's kind of a big deal.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, if you're back, we got to go to the Rainbow when you come to LA.
Absolutely.
When you were in LA, where was your hang? Where'd you go?
Boy, you know what? We just kind of. I was only for a month. We hung up like Eric Belanger, Dimitra. We just kind of hung out at the houses. We didn't really get a chance to go out too much. Now, you want to ask my wife that because when we were out of town on the road, she went everywhere. Chateau Marmont. She was all over the place. Every place she could find. It was hysterical. But yeah, like we as the guys, we just kind of hung low. I kind of made that joke at that time with my old friend Dimitra that I miss so much.
Oh, I know, it's so sad.
Tragic, especially for the game over there. He would have been, man.
Yeah.
He would anyway. Yeah, let's not go there. It was like college. Roanoke had a place by the beach. Like we just hung out at people's houses. It was kind of crazy. It was one of the unique things that I found about LA. It was a very close team, and man, what a place to play. Holy cripe.
Yeah. Oh, Scotty.
You can't beat it.
Scotty says we need Parrish and NBC between the benches and not McGuire. Hey, I'm all for that, man. I'm all for that. I would love that. I tell you what, man, I'm gonna let you go here. I gotta wrap up. I gotta get my voice tracks done for tomorrow's morning show. On it hasn't been announced yet, but god damn it, because I've been doing it for 2 months, and I think we're launching next week. Dash Radio, the Dash Radio app. I am doing mornings on the Monsters of Rock channel. And being the fucking hardcore rock fan that you are, you'll fucking love it.
Yeah.
You'll love it. I'll send you the link, dude. It's fucking
Yeah,
great.
we
It's
didn't get to
satellite.
my Space Age story. So
Yeah. I tell you what, we're gonna have you on again, and you got to get to town. You got to have a nice little fucking couple-day vacation. Come on down here. We'll get you in studio. We'll do a drunken summit. Get a couple guys in studio and just pound some Jack Daniels. Yeah, dude, it's so great to see you. It's so great to talk to you. It's been so fucking long. We text every once in a while, man.
Hell yeah, brother. Great talking to you, my friend.
Likewise. And do me one huge favor. Are you still like kind of involved with the committees and all that shit in the NHL?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Got to get those home whites back.
Oh, it drives me crazy.
Oh, it's just
that from day one. I've never liked that.
Me either.
We've had
this
on the road. It feels
Yeah.
weird on the road. Like you should be in dark white. It's like white. That's like you're wearing your nice suit. You wear your nice suit at home. Darks are on the road. You're getting down and dirty. That's just the way it's right. I couldn't agree more.
Oh, I hate it. Mark, thank you so much, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, brother.
All right, man. Take care.
Absolutely. Take care, my friend.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, that was Mark Parrish here on another effing podcast, former NHLer. So great to talk to him. I'm going to hit my outro music right now. We'll be back maybe in a couple days. I might have the girls from Vixen on. I'm trying to get that in. We got a bunch of shit coming up. Monsters of Rock channel on Dash. Check all that good shit out. Donate to the show. Izzy Presley at yahoo.com is the PayPal. Buy t-shirts. Buy all that kind of good shit. We'll get Mark Parrish to buy one of those beater amplification heads, which are on sale till the end of the month. $700 off for only $2,000 now. You can get your hand-wired, hand-built beater head. Fucking beautiful. Amazing. Beater head. That was cool. All right, we will talk to you guys very, very soon. I do love you all, and kindly go fuck yourselves.